meta moved away from it, he definitely felt the struggle of it. But now Rare Adam feeling comfortable, gonna get in that Jinx for iBoy.
Yeah, and it gives you that long-range, reliable carry. We see V5 on the other side pick up the Aphelios and very quickly grab the Gragas as well. So pretty early pickup for Gragas. We don't often see him prioritized this early in the draft, especially since we haven't seen any top laners banned other than the Renekton. So bit of an interesting one. Technically still a flex though, but Aphelios can apply that early pressure to Jinx in the laning phase. Kind of needs to because she scales extremely well. But looking over here, Thresh open and available, and also I feel like a jungle pick for Rare Adam would make a lot of sense for Leyan. Alternatively, you could take something in the mid lane, but I think really you just want to secure one of those big tier junglers. Jarvan is a possibility, right? You know this is an Aphelios without a Thresh. You know he's going to be immobile. That option's there, but Xin Zhao is kind of the standout in terms of picks.
Yeah, or the Gwen, something that has been rising in priority for LPL teams. We've seen it now multiple times, just be able to take over those side lanes and hell, even take over team fights if you're able to find the right angles. So Cube going to be taking that one up into the top side. And now V5, you either take your jungler, your support, or you look to try and, or sorry, you have your jungler in Gragas, but you look to take your top laner. But it looks like they're going to try and lock in their support because they know they cannot leave those bans open. So Gwen going to have a little bit of priority once Rare Adam start prioritizing those bans top.
Yeah, so I think the Nautilus makes a lot of sense in terms of being able to, it's a good matchup to the Thresh, and also you want to apply that pressure in the laning phase. But now it's going to be sort of heavily looking towards those jungle bans. Rek'Sai getting taken away by V5, bit of an interesting one, but it's still like the big three left available are Xin Zhao, Viego, and Jarvan. But interesting, we haven't seen too much put towards them. We tend to see teams prioritizing junglers in those first three picks. And also any mid laners you potentially have issue with, things like Syndra, things like Vex, things that could cause problems in the laning phase, we could see them looked at in terms of bans as well.
I'm curious to see why we're seeing the Xin Zhao ban. Maybe, of course, the side of Rare Adam are expecting this Gragas to be top lane rather than jungle. So it is still technically a flex, like you mentioned. So I'm curious to see where they're able to take this one here. But for Rare Adam, it is about getting stability. It is about, honestly, I keep saying it, but getting Strive something that he can work with. And I honestly feel like V5 are going to leave that counter up for themselves. They're going to say, look, we're going to give Rookie as comfortable as a lane as possible and maybe deal out a bit of a spanking here to Strive.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially given how the draft is going, it's quite easy for Karsa just to pick up a jungle in the fourth pick. I think it probably would be a Gragas top, right? We haven't seen too much Gragas jungle, but he's been pretty popular in the top lane, which is why it's so interesting he was picked so early. But we did see those three junglers, right? I was talking about the big four are Lee Sin, Jarvan, Viego, and Xin Zhao. And those three were just banned in the second rotation with Rek'Sai as well. So I think Karsa, you're kind of comfortable to pick a range of junglers in this situation, you know, things like Dana, things like the Talon. You're not threatened by this higher tier that we typically see, and now Rare Adam gets the answer, and we'll see what they bring up in the mid lane and in the jungle for Leyan and Strive, knowing that Rookie has counter pick in this situation.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing a Diana Yasuo combination come out here. Of course, you have the Zed as well. I don't expect them to go for that, but see what Rare Adam do actually want to lock in. And for Leyan, of all people, this is someone who can be very aggressive, can get up in your face pretty damn frequently. We'll see what they want to go for as they hover over the Qiyana, and they will lock that one in. So you've got to pick out, you know, what you're looking for in that mid lane, and I think something safe like this or even a Corki should be the go-to here for Strive.
Yeah, I think you're comfortable with the Viktor. If Rookie just end up taking the Corki, then you know that you're going to be able to challenge him in the laning phase and then eventually be able to find easy prio once you have your upgrade. The Qiyana as well, a lot of team fighting power, and also into the Talon specifically. If Talon tries to jump over the wall, you just ult it, right? Easy way to shut him down. Now we're going to look over a Rookie and see what he's possibly going to pick. He could go aggressive, right? I actually think I'd like that in this situation. I talked about like the Syndra, the Vex. Zoe is also an option. I'd rather see him on a pick that can apply that early pressure and allow Karsa to play Talon like you should be, which is aggressive. Look for those jungle invades. Look to apply that early momentum, because realistically, Rare Adam have amazing team fight right now. Really powerful. They have Viktor, they have Jinx, these great backline carries. They have Gwen and Qiyana for that disruption. So I don't think you want to take this into the late game. You would rather find that early momentum, and I think that's what V5 need to do here.
Yeah, looks like V5 got to go towards that Syndra. Like you said, a bit of aggression, something that can help set up this Talon in the early stages. You get that Scatter the Weak alongside the Power Spear, so you're able to get that stun off, get that extra damage down, of course, with the Talon, who is incredibly quick in that early stages, getting over the walls. And this is going to be a bit of a curious one right now. If I'm looking at the two drafts right now, I feel like if Leyan can start to take over, if Leyan can get out on the map early like we've seen him do previously with this Qiyana, he could potentially snowball this game out of control for V5. So for V5, in my opinion, it's got to be about them controlling this game until they're happy enough, you know, they're dictating where the fights are happening. They're not being dictated to.
But I think V5 are fine. They have the tools to do so, right, in this situation. The Talon really good at getting up in the Qiyana's face, really good at just going for aggressive potential ganks, right? You're against an immobile champion in the mid lane, and I think that's why I want to see the pressure starting off, right? You're going to have Rookie who's able to basically dictate the wave state mid because of his great clear, and then you set up a situation where, you know, if you push the wave in early, get a crash on the third wave, and then bounce it, Strive might be out of position. You go for an easy gank with a Talon. Suddenly he's flashless. And then you can start to apply that pressure where Strive isn't able to move. And I think that needs to be the game plan here for V5. Go in fast, go in hard, get that early momentum, and snowball from there.
We'll see if they're able to make it happen right now. It is going to be game one. Jumping onto the Rift. For Rare Adam, this is to get their season up to a pretty decent start. Like we said, they've looked good in their two series. They are still sitting at 1-1 though, and you don't want those loss columns to start stacking up. While on the other side, V5 have only really just begun. One win in the column. They're looking to try and make that a second. Join the likes of OMG, EDG, hell, even LNG up at the top of the standings with their 3-0s. Of course, they would still be one series behind. And we're on to the Rift. And right now, it looks like it's just going to be pretty easy standard setup for both teams. And actually see an early ward there into the middle brush on bot side here for V5, making sure they're not getting caught out by any kind of sneaky level 1.
Yeah, the anti-cheese ward, that is. The amount of times, you know, it's been such a meta in the bot lane that's developed. I remember when there was this meta where you'd stack in the sort of the tri-brush, right? So when the enemy bot lane comes from doing the red buff, you just jump on them. That like originally started off as a strategy that like higher players would use to abuse, and then it spread down, and now it's like it's not even done anymore because every team expects it, right? And the jungler will just come along and help you out. But there's been so many metas in the bot lane where it's literally just getting the jump on the other bot lane, starting a fight and winning because you get to hit them first. And it's always looking out for these little tricks, these little moments, these little opportunities they'll take to try and find any advantage.
Yeah, any advantage whatsoever. You do have Glacial Augment here for ppgod, so hasn't got the Aftershock, and this is something we've mentioned quite a bit. It's actually Aftershock for Zorah on the other side of it, so this is something we've mentioned quite a bit as well, is that it is just a bit of a trade-off. You get a much better late game scaling, I would feel, Rune, with the Glacial Augment. You're able to put down those big AoE slows and obviously damage mitigation versus the immediate stat boost and buff you get with the Aftershock. So curious to see how this particular matchup will go.
It also can change the dynamic of matchups, right? If you're able to slow a target, it can allow you to follow up in certain ways. I don't think it's super necessary in this situation for ppgod in the matchup into Thresh, but I also like that Zorah has gone for the Aftershock, so he's going to be quite bulky. It's not going to be as easy to target him in those all-ins, and it means that V5 may struggle a little bit more to find all-in pressure in the early levels.
Oh, we see both junglers now starting on their top and bottom sides. They're on opposite side, mirroring each other. It was a ward spotting out the jungler of Rare Adam, so good start here for V5. You can see how just they understand exactly what you were talking about there in the pre-game, that they know that Rare Adam are going to be trying to see if they can get, you know, people racked up, get them to, you know, kind of stabilize towards that late game. So V5 are saying, no, we're going to wait until we have a couple of levels in our jungler and we can be the ones making the aggressive plays.
And I think the big thing is you're already seeing Rookie applying that early pressure, pushing the wave in, putting some harass down onto Strive. And that is the main focal point, right? That's why you have that priority on that Syndra. And that's really what Karsa needs to be able to have agency. But already we're seeing Zorah move over towards the mid lane, establish some vision control, you know, and just be there and available in case anything does happen. Strive pretty safe where he is now, but I just like the fact that already we've seen a bit of proactivity from the support. I love to see this, right? Support's moving up towards the mid lane. It's kind of what I'm always looking and waiting for.
Yeah, and I love that as well from the side of ppgod. He gets rid of the shield because Talon, without smite, taking his scuttlebug, it's actually a pretty hard thing to do.
What a good
it's
friend.
Just, yeah, it's like the most sad thing is he's just like pushing him slightly. It's like, come on, go down. You know, just constantly trying to get him off. But without that smite, it is very difficult when you do not have CC. So I like a little bit of support help there as we welcome Karsa to the sword shop as he goes back, picks up 3 long swords. One more than the side of Leyan, who only picks up 2. So already winning out in the battle of attrition, in my opinion.
Speaking of attrition, right, we saw Rich getting chunked out a little bit in the early levels, but has managed to sort of work his HP back up. And that's the thing, right? You have the tier, you have the biscuit, you have a pretty healthy mana pool, and as long as you're sort of spamming abilities in the Gragas, you will just kind of sustain yourself up thanks to your passive and be pretty comfortable in this matchup. Gwen as well kind of struggles to apply too much pressure to the Gragas, because in any situation, like, you dash into him and he's just gonna body slam you, throw a barrel down, run away, right? So one of the issues that Gwen typically has is sort of sticking to a target, which is why she often takes Ghost to help her do so for the extended trades. And Gragas is a target who's hard to stick to, but Engage comes in.
Here we go, flash in with the flay. They'll land the hook as well. You're dead, son. That's first blood going over to Rare Adam. But on the other side of that, flip it over. V5 find themselves a response in mid.
Yeah, love the dive coming out from V5, right? We said they have the setup with Rookie on the Syndra. They have burst damage from Karsa. Really easy to do, and Strive gets taken out in this situation. Does have TP, though, so he won't miss too much. But this bot lane play from Zorah is just excellent. And we'll have a look at the mid lane play first. Yeah, no mana, no health. You know, you ain't surviving that. You didn't even need the setup from Rookie. But Zorah, beautiful play. Flays to set it off, and honestly, this is why people often take Glacial Augment, is because when you flay on Thresh with the Glacial Augment, you get the big AoE slow. Didn't even need it, still lands the hook. And this is why I've been pretty hyped on this guy, right? He didn't look the best at Damascus Cup, but he started to step up, and he's there instigating, setting up these plays. And it means, despite the fact V5 to get a kill mid, things are still pretty equal at the moment.
Yeah, still pretty damn equal, and Rare Adam will be happy enough to know that Leyan picked up that kill. That's the Qiyana getting an early bit of gold, bit of ejection there. It did get traded back. Obviously, Karsa picked it up on the other side, so it is equaled out, as we do now see level 6s being hit in this top side. We will see Rich now with the explosive cast. I don't think Leyan's going to be able to do much without his ultimate. We should just see the trade there. Maybe they're not even going to get it at all, so just very good tempered play here from Rich on his debut in the LPL.
Yeah, I mean, they early picked this Gragas, and it seems like they kind of just wanted to be a brick wall in the top lane. It's working as that, right? He's tanky enough to shake off that damage from both Leyan and Cube. He's got the mobility, the safety, the wave clear. Very good weak side pick, which is why we quite often see it. And it allows Karsa lean down towards this bot lane a bit more. They are setting up for this dragon already. Should just be able to pick this one up pretty easily, and there's no way RA are even really going to contest this one.
Yeah, you do have pressure on bot side for the side of RA, but mid lane you can see already Rookie cheating down towards his bot lane. The dragon will reset as Karsa is pretty damn low, so doesn't want to get too much lower. As we now see Rookie with that priority as Garner, trying to see if he can catch out Leyan in this jungle. Of course, former teammates, former World Championship winning teammates, as they start to get the invade on that red buff.
You're going to apply that pressure and just start stealing away camps, and this is what you should be doing on the Talon, right? This is the game plan. You walk in the enemy jungle, you steal a camp, you hop away, and that's why the Syndra works so well with it, because you can just walk with you. She's always going to be able to find that priority in the early game, at least until Viktor gets his laser evolved. That's when he can start to contest it in return. You know, Syndra can still delete waves, but at least Viktor can quickly follow and do the same.
Yeah, well, trade of ultimates there in the top side. We do see Cube using his alongside the explosive cast from Rich to disengage. But I will say Cube does definitely feel like he came out the better. Like you said, though, Rich with that tier and, of course, the passive on Gragas, the Drunken Rage, does end up regenerating quite a bit. And look, even a little bit of honey fruit. Always eat your vegetables, kids. It's the best way to keep yourself nice, strong, and healthy and get himself back in this lane. No harm, no foul. Yeah,
I mean, you're having to trade ults, and that's the thing, right? Gwen will dash in on you. You knock her away. That's it. There's no other way to get in. But speaking of getting dashed in on, ooh, they don't see the angle. Surely they're going to look for it. They got to go for it. They're waiting for Karsa. Yeah, I mean,
Leyan is probably in a lot of trouble here. Has got flash. Will pop the ultimate onto all three members and get himself out. They will, however, jump in with a Talon, and he'll trade it back in the end. But that's a lot used there. And you can see already Karsa, not really many places for him to go. He'll jump over the wall, try to get the parkour going. But it's not enough to escape from Cube. It's a trade back. 1-for-1. RA going toe-to-toe with V5.
Yeah, good effort from RA to shut that down, right? Cube in position with the Ignite as well. Has enough burst damage just to delete Karsa there. And that's the thing, right? Leyan actually played that really well. Not only did he manage to get the ult off in time, that really disrupted the burst coming down onto him. In fact, Rookie didn't even get a chance to ultimate, but also got a chance to flash over the wall. Yes, the Talon can follow, but as a result, Karsa had to walk his way out and end up getting taken down. So we see from this situation, just ppgod doesn't quite get the CC down quick enough to stop him from ulting. And then this flash over here, because Karsa jumps, he can't jump back over the same wall, right? So he has to run, which means it's a lot harder for him to get away in this situation. And that's the sort of situation where he ends up going down.
Yeah, and a big win as well for the side of RA to kind of punish this early aggression. They are still in the lead just about with that gold. We can see now Karsa maybe trying to take a little bit of a re-move towards this top side. Leyan, however, is sitting on top of this Rift Herald. They now know that it's being started, and maybe V5 want to go for a little bit of a contest. It would be a 3v3. Rich has yet to follow down, though, just yet. He has got flash, so they could see a flash body slam, and this Rift Herald will eventually be given up by V5. RA just too quick on the buzzer.
Yeah, and it's a unique situation because typically we see supports roaming up to set up the plays for the Herald. Because we had that earlier trade of kills, both supports ended up going back bot, and RA just went straight in, rushed it down. Obviously, Leyan is up sooner because he died sooner than Karsa, so they take the opportunity. And honestly, anything that RA does, that means V5 doesn't find a lead or it slows them down. You know, denying the Herald, even if they only get 2 plays from it, is a massive win. RA are comfortable taking this to the late game. They're comfortable leaning into their scaling carries. So it's really on V5 to find the momentum. And I feel like they're being matched so far pretty well.
Yeah, honestly, I think right now you talked about, you know, the early aggression that V5 needed to have. They have had it, but it has been responded to in kind. The kill in bot side from Zorah. He's going to have his flash now available to him to try and maybe make something work like that again. You've obviously had the trade back in top lane as well. And these, like you said, little small advantages that are being picked up here by Rare Adam that could mean the difference as they now look to try and see if they can catch out Photic. But yeah, he recognizes that he hasn't got his support with him right now, and a Moby Boots Thresh is terrifying.
Yeah, he knows, right? His flash got burned before in the previous play that we saw, which was obviously over 5 minutes ago. But he knows Thresh walks up to you, expect the flash play. Yeah, I mean, Cube's dead here, surely.
Yeah, he's going to have to try and trade this one out. There's the explosive cast. It will put down the hallowed mist around Cube. He will not get the needlework down. The unleashed power is enough to pick it up. Rookie, good roam, good kill.
I know it's like a little thing. I love like the little micro things from Rich, right? He throws the cask and he walks into the hallowed mist to make sure it connects, right? Doesn't want any opportunity for Cube to dodge it and then potentially burst him down because he did still have that ignite available. But a good roam from Rookie, and this is what we wanted to see, right, out of that Syndra pick. We want to see you one-shot in the waves, moving to the side lanes and applying that pressure.
Yep, and it's so far so good for V5. Rookie, of course, on the new lineup. Only his second team of the LPL, of his LPL career. As the rest of V5, again, like I said, looking to try and make amends for a pretty abysmal 2021 summer split of a 0-16 scoreline. So right now they are still undefeated. Yeah, they're still doing all right.
Bit of an understatement. I mean, I'm
trying to be nice.
That was a rough split, right?
That was rough is probably the only, you know, nice term that we could really say about it.
They had 3 games though, right? You know,
that's true.
It could have been worse. It
3 and 32. Was that the final score? Yeah, 3 and 32.
I think it was something like that. It could have marginally
so if they win 2 games
worse
today out of 2 series compared to 16 in summer, they've already outdone themselves if they can win 2 games today. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, it wasn't a hard record to beat, but you know,
the only way is up. Baby. I'm sorry, I've got to be some kind of positivity from V5 as we see Leyan now. With that Yomu, seeing if he can catch out Rookie, but with Flash not really going to happen. Karsa is also in tow, so I must say as well, like, yes, it is still Rookie. It is still probably one of the best mid laners we have in the league, if not one of the best in the world.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, he's all right. He's doing fine. I think he's done incredible well to keep Strive, this hot Rookie coming out and really not making an impact. I feel Strive has been very muted in this mid lane, and right now is about 15 CS down as well, so not really having the same level of impact that we've seen him in previous games.
And this is what we want to see. Like, this is why you pick the Syndra, right? You want to apply that pressure. You want to have that priority. It's specifically picks like the Syndra, like the Vex, in this meta that can actually pressure those sort of scaling mages and make them have a rougher time in the laning phase. But we see that Herald being thrown down, already chunked out with an auto from Photic. They might actually be able to defend this.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to do it as well as we do get the... Oh, no, never mind. There's the charge. So the charge just come in. There's the 2 plates going over. Shelly did her job.
ppgod could have altered it, right? He just sort of walked past it. I think that should have been... Like, the lantern comes in, pulls away the target that you're ulting. It's kind of like you should just turn around and go, okay, let's kill the Herald. The 2 plates go down. It's not like a great use of the Herald by any means. Honestly... 2 plates is kind of like the bare minimum you'd hope to get, but at the end of the day, RA are still happy to lean into the scaling elements, but V5 are able to ensure they don't lose that tower.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing we can see there. Just going in all in. Yeah,
just go help, dude.
Hang on now. As in accordance with the laws of Reddit and Twitch chat, I cannot have any blasphemy per ppgod, no matter how good / bad he may look in a situation. So, my child, you may repent for your sins for criticizing such a man of high caliber.
Maybe I just have high standards for ppgod, right?
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, maybe you're just expecting more from him. And speaking of expecting more from him, Rich gonna pop down a ward, immediately spot out the Qiyana, and yeah, honestly, I think for, you know, a start, yes, he's on Gragas tank duty. Pretty solid start for Rich so far. Hasn't fallen behind in gold, has not died at all, and has done what he needed to do, which was survive.
Yeah, and he's got the tank Gragas build. We normally see the tank Gragas build because the Thimble Winter is such a great item. You can proc on slows, and Gragas obviously has his Q as an easy way to apply that. But also, we were talking a bit about that chem tank Akali early and how she procs the chem tank. She stacks it very quickly with the mobility. The same applies to Gragas, right? If you body slam, that's a lot of mileage. Not quite as much as Akali gets, but it still does build up those stacks. Allows you to have that extra wave clear, extra burst damage onto targets. So all around puts them in a solid position, and it provides, you know, extra engage for the team, which is important because they have a lot of burst damage between their carries, but really relying on ppgod and Rich to allow them to get in there.
And Leyan trying to play with vision right now. Doesn't know there's a pink ward right there, but I think if V5 do overstep, it won't matter if they see him coming or not. They'll have to back away almost immediately. Now they will, and Leyan will say, okay, take this ward, get myself back out. But 1 minute 30 until that dragon. That could be a big pivotal moment now for both of these teams. It is a Mountain Soul we didn't really get to talk about earlier, as we can see Rich trying to see if he can go toe-to-toe. There is no ignite here for Cube, so still just playing with the scissors, running into the fat man with them. Still does a lot of damage. There's going to be a blue trinket used in top side, so they still keep him very, very safe, and it looks like a lot of this pressure from RA is just kind of leading to nothing as of the moment.
Again, they're fine with this. They're fine just poking and prodding, trying to do what they can. And actually, in this situation, driving the bot lane, whereas V5 have moved all their members up, is a pretty significant advantage because they'll just take this tower that they lowered down earlier. First tower going to the Viktor, absolutely desired outcome, and then they can still look to TP Viktor and contest this if they need. V5 are positioning themselves. Oh, but they found Leyan.
They found Leyan indeed. He flashes away, gets the lantern and the shield, but it's not enough to keep him alive. We will have the TP coming in, but now it's a 4v5. I don't think you want to try and take this fight right now, V5. Or sorry, excuse me, Rare Adam. You want to back away from V5, and Rich is playing a very dangerous game right now. He needs to be very, very careful. There's the scatter of the weak, but it's not enough to stop the damage coming out from the needlework. It's a trade of 2 for 1, still in favor of V5, but I feel like Rich didn't have to go that far.
And he wanted to set up the kill right for Rookie, and he did a decent job of it by all means, but the problem was you end up staying in melee range with Gwen for a little bit too long. She has that ignite up, ends up taking you down. Now, they will use that Herald to get this top tower, but at the end of the day, you know, I feel like RA should have just been happy taking that bot lane tower. They should have been comfortable in that situation because they essentially just traded 1 tower for 1 tower, right? But because Leyan gets caught, because there was also that 1-for-1, V5 is slightly ahead in kills, but because they stayed top lane to sort the Herald out, RA get a free dragon, which I think they're happy with. I think in the overall play that came from that, everything that sort of amounted, I think you take that from Rare Adam.
Yeah, I think you're pretty damn happy with it. Like you said, Rich didn't have to go down, was trying to set up the kill for Rookie, and sadly ended up paying his life for it. So see if he's able to come back onto the map and, you know, just clean up those little bits of plays coming out of him in the top side. Rare Adam, though, as you said, bang even on gold. They've got themselves a Drake in the ascendancy, and let's have a look at the replay here, because it is just Leyan, sadly for the side of Rare Adam, just getting caught with the lollipop.
It looked like he was almost around the corner, and then the Calibrum means that obviously Photic can just do that long range auto away, and this is where, you know, Rich goes for Cube, and he's doing his best to keep him in a position where Rookie can follow up, but the problem is
healing.
Yeah, that just means you're standing in range of Gwen, and Gwen does a ton of damage, a ton of healing, ends up managing to burst with a snip right at the end. It is close, in fairness, and Rookie does get a kill off it, so you can't complain too much, but Gwen is starting to ramp up, and this is kind of right with the 18-minute point. We have 3 dragons already taken by these teams. We can start talking about what we set up earlier, how things are going to lean to the late game. We said V5 need to find that early momentum. They haven't, right? Teams are pretty much even. In fact, Rare Adam has a dragon advantage, but Cube is getting stronger and stronger. Strive is starting to come online, has a stopwatch, and has his Crown of the Shattered Queen. iBoy is now on 2 items. There is luckily, and again,
there we go, flash in. They're going to try and lollipop him out, but this time around, it is going to be Zorah. I feel Leyan a little bit panicky with the ultimate there. That was not a supreme display of excellence, if I do say so myself. But now you know the 4 members of V5 are on bot side, so Rich is in a little bit of trouble here if the rest of our Rare Adam roam up.
I think it's a tricky dive against the Gragas. There's a lot of wave clear, very tanky, so not sure if they'll go for it. But again, this is just Rare Adam shutting down V5's pressure and then having Strive in the side lane so he can just pick up waves. It's working really well for them. And the longer this goes on, the longer the V5 isn't able to make things happen, the more and more we're going to see this game go in favor of Rare Adam.
Right now, V5 still hovering towards this bot side, trying to get that first tower on the bot lane to kind of equal that one out. They are pretty much waiting to try and trade it out. They will lose it on top side, so it's going to be a trade of bot for top, like for like. Both mid lane turrets still standing, so both teams will have pretty decent positioning as we do hit the 20-minute mark in 5 seconds. That's going to be in the Baron. We'll finally be on the Rift. 2.5 minutes until the Dragon spawns, and again, it's getting a little bit scary. You now have 2 items on your Jinx. You're looking at a Rapid Fire Karen and a Kraken Slayer, and actually, as I say this, they are still pushing in this top side. They're seeing if they can get a little bit more chip damage onto this turret, but it's not going to equal out to much more than just that.
Yeah, I mean, they'll just apply pressure where they can, but again, it's trading. Rare Adam have done a beautiful job of this, ensuring that no matter what happens, they're able to trade in some mana, and as a result, keeping that gold lead close. And speaking of gold lead, look at the mid lane, right? It's not necessarily about the gold, because obviously Rookie has kills and advantage, but coming out of the laning phase, we saw a CS advantage. Strive has been able to catch up just by picking up waves in the side lane. We see Cube is a little marginally ahead. We see that iBoy's actually been able to build up a CS advantage enough so that he actually has a gold bounty. So things are all going in favor of Rare Adam. They're picking up waves well, they're answering well. And again, V5, you need to make something happen, right? Dragon in a minute 30. If Rare Adam secures that one, Dragon Soul is out of the window as a V5 win con, right? It'll take far too long for you to get Soul. And honestly, even if you do get that one, it's going to be 32 minutes before V5 could get a Dragon Soul. It's a long way away.
Oh, Cube going to find Karsa and Rookie on top of him now in the second, as we do see the turret almost dead in this top tier 2. So yeah, see if they can get it. Cube threading the needle right there between the two spheres of power, so not getting hit by the scat of the week. And looking at the AD carry specifically, it is about a 20 CS or 25 CS lead here for iBoy over Photic, and right now, that is basically equaling a full item. Yes, I would say Rapid Fire Cannon is a little bit of a cheaper item that you can go for, but this is still significant for something like the Jinx that can get those extra little bit of range, get that little bit of extra harass down to keep you safe and to keep you putting out those damage.
Yeah, I think in fairness, right, Photic already has tier 2 boots and he has 2 longswords in pocket, and now he has the Collector, right? So, you know, the lead's not as like initially big as it looked on paper, but iBoy is still ahead. Oh, Leyan
has been caught, and Leyan has been killed. 303, 100% kill participation there for Rookie.
This is a recurring theme right now, it feels like. Leyan walks up, gets blown up, ends up going down, and unfortunately, if you look at the time in the top left, this is not the time you want your jungler to die. Wait for the wave clear there, and just, you know, every time Leyan's been engaged on and has survived, there's been one critical thing. Zorah has been there with a lantern. Zorah was in base, resetting, right? You should have reset sooner so that Zorah is able to be there to contest the wave with you. But also, Leyan, if your support's not there, if your Thresh isn't available, don't just walk up like that.
Yeah, and look, credit where credit's due to Rich. Great opportunistic kill taken and really set up for him and his team. We see the red buff is going to be taken now by iBoy. Needs to be a little bit careful. They don't exactly have great vision here. There's the scatter of the week going down onto Zorah, who throws out the hook. Not going to land onto absolutely anybody. And the rest of V5 will back themselves out of this jungle. So right now, looking at the item, you have got the Cosmic Drive now onto Cube. He is going up against a Fimbulwinter, so not going to be doing a huge amount of damage onto Rich particularly, but everyone else needs to be very, very scared. On the other side of that, you actually have an Umbral Glaive for Leyan, so able to kind of clear out those wards, get that vision down when he needs to. And an Edge of Night on the other side of that for Karsa. So again, we're seeing more lethality items, but different paths to how they feel like this victory is going to come for them.
You know, honestly, I could have seen Leyan buying an Edge of Night being a pretty big purchase. I feel like if you've seen how things have been panning out, it would have been a solid investment. Ooh. But regardless, I think we're in a pretty similar state to what I was setting up before. The Dragon's been picked up by V5, so Soul is still a potential win condition, but at 32 minutes in the game, it's going to be rough, right? That's when RA's composition will be very comfortable. It's still possible for V5 to win at that point. It just becomes quite a bit harder. So we'll see how things pan out. But for now, RA just going to keep applying that pressure. They have Cube in the side lane. He's very comfortable in this matchup right now, has plenty of sustain. And the thing is, Rich just doesn't really do enough damage to ever significantly damage Cubes that you can take him out, right? Cube can always sustain up with that Omnivamp.
Karsa in a lot of trouble. There's the Edge of Night, and he is deleted. They didn't even need the Super Mega Det Rocket coming out there from iBoy. They will have the Lantern if they so choose to take it, but they do not need to, and that's a nice little pick. And all of a sudden, we're starting to see that momentum, that late game carry that we talked about from RA starting to come into effect.
That's some karma, I'll tell you that much, right?
Yeah. Oh. Explosive cast. Oh, doesn't quite land on it. But what is happening? They've invested the explosive cast there onto the Gwen. That means that you can start the Baron here as Brer Adam, and they're going to commit the teleport. They're going for this.
Yeah, this is bold, right? Because they may not have Karsa for smite. Oh,
massive hook. Rookie in a lot of trouble. Does get the Scat of the Week down alongside the Unleashed Power, but the Baron will be taken out. There's the ultimate from the Aphelios. Doesn't quite get the kill onto the Baron, and that means RA now have accelerated themselves to a 2,000 gold lead, and 2 minutes until that next dragon spawns. It feels like RA are firmly in the driving seat.
Yeah, I mean, this is huge for RA, right? They find a pick onto Karsa, instantly transition to the Baron. And the critical thing was, I was going to say, yes, Karsa's not there with a smite, but 4 members of V5 should still be a pretty major threat. But that great hook coming out from Zorah was enough, right? You hook Rookie. Yes, Rookie didn't die, but he got chunked so low. It just ends up being a non-factor. There's no way V5 could fight after that. And now, Rare Adam have the gold lead. They have the Baron to play around with. They're in a really comfortable spot.
Very, very comfortable spot. V5 will start backing themselves away. 2 minutes until that next dragon spawns. Neither team really close to a dragon soul just yet. But again, look at the items that are starting to pick up here on the side of Rare Adam. You now have the Infinity Edge here for iBoy. You now have got yourself working towards that Nash's Tooth here for Cube. These are big item power spikes that are going to make this very, very difficult. And the more this game goes on, the more I'm looking at Photic like, you got to be the carry, my friend. You got to be the reason your team come out of this, this team fight alive, because the rest of your team's not going to really have it. As I say that, Leyan gets caught out by Rich, has to use the ultimate, and they fully engage now on top of this. They know there's not a massive AoE, and the Talon's on the back line, but he gets exhausted immediately. Now Karsa trying to run away, but he just cannot. The tanks are down, the Talon is dead, and it's going to be a 2 for none, and V5 just can't get themselves into this.
Yeah, they were able to find the kill, right? And the thing is, V5 have strong pick potential, but even then, Karsa couldn't even 100-0 iBoy thanks to the exhaust he has, and as a result, RA managed to come out ahead. Their team fighting is so strong now. The Jinx is doing so much damage. You have the Viktor as well. Rich has to be a little bit careful, but should be able to make his way out of this one. But again, apply more pressure. They're going to use the Baron minions to get this bot lane tower and further accelerate that gold lead.
The big thing you got to recognize from that last play, that was 5v4 in favor of V5. They were the ones who had the man advantage, and it was just a little bit split. The instant exhaust from iBoy straight onto Karsa meant they could not take him out, and that means he's just able to keep himself alive. And look at these damage. 3 auto attacks, 4 auto attacks, 1 more, and he would have been able to kill off Photic. He doesn't land the Super Mega Death Rocket, but a heal and a flash, and oh, Ox, this game feels like it's already dead and done for V5.
Yeah, it's rough, right? I mean, the Jinx just outranges you so much and does that. You can't even get in range to auto-attack iBoy unless you're ready to, like, Gale Force him with your ultimate. But really, that just wasn't the opportunity. And this is the problem now. They have to deal with iBoy, but there's also Cube, there's also Strive. And the thing is, Photic's short range is becoming an issue. If you step up to Strive, he will one-shot you. If you step up to Leyan and Cube, they will just be a massive problem. And iBoy simply outranges you. So the Aphelios is going to struggle to team fight. It really comes down to V5 finding picks, but it's RA who are setting the pace.
They're going so far, so fast, and ppgod has nowhere to go. No flash, no hook, no life. He is dead, and now it's a 5v4 as RA are starting to knock on the base. They're going to jump straight in now and try and get on top of the Talon. Karsa is just running away for his life right now. They are knocking on the base door. They are trying to take down this inhibitor as Karsa is a million miles away from his team.
I mean, it's going to be hard to catch him, but Karsa, he's just spending his time running at this point.
Yeah, he's got... Oh, Leyan was trying to get the little cheat over the wall with the Gromp. Wasn't able to get close enough to it, but Dragon is live. RA can go back, pick that one up for themselves, and this is starting to get real rough. It's now a 6,000 gold lead in favor of RA. They'll pick up the Dragon Soul point, and they'll go back and spend all that lovely, lovely gold.
And that's the thing. If we were at this point in the game and the teams were even, I would start feeling concerned for V5. But there is now a 6k gold deficit. I feel like you kind of missed the mark completely. You were answered by RA, and in this situation, like, V5 just are scared. They are scared of them, and with good reason. They cannot walk up. The hook comes out, easy pick, and it's just more and more momentum being found. And think about it, right? The answer when you have these big scaling carries is to burst them down, to pick them, right? Well, iBoy is going to have his exhaust up soon, has a Thresh on his side, has Ninja Tabby as well. Oh, seen a bit of a fight.
Nope,
No,
Supreme Display of Talent is good enough to keep everyone away.
And on top of that, right, Strive, Crown of the Shattered Queen, very hard target to burst. So even these, you know, immobile hyper carries who you think if we get on them, we can blow them up, they're not even great options right now. So V5, really, you need someone on RA to make a mistake. You need a pick. You need Leyan to die again. And that's maybe where you can find an avenue. But for now, it is just feeling very difficult for them to find their way in this game.
35 CS difference between Photic and iBoy right now is just huge in this matchup. It is literally the difference between an IE and not an IE as we can look at the two carries. And Photic is going to be desperately trying to pick up some of these waves. He has got himself the red and white gun, but there's no real reason for RA to fight at the moment. So yes, these are fantastic guns if you're going for a 5v5, but there's no real objective for them to go for. Minato, Baron. Maybe you try and look for an all-in. Maybe you look to try and see if Rich can catch someone out. He's very tanky. He's got that Force of Nature and Thimbowinter alongside his Turbo Chem tank. And you can see Leyan now hunting, seeing if he can catch out Karsa, because he knows that now he is the bigger threat.
You know, honestly, I feel like red-white isn't even the setup you want for how these team fights are going to play. I feel like you need, like, Calibrum to function. You need that extra range. You need the long-range setup. Maybe even Calibrum Gravitum would be a better setup to allow you to function at a distance, because I feel like red-white is good against melee champions and good against people getting up in your face. You know, the only person who's really going to get up in your face and stay there is Cube, and he can just block your auto attack. So, you know, I feel like it's a rough one for the Aphelios. Oh, we do see iBoy taking a bit of poke, but he's just going to heal up. He's not too concerned, has his Thresh there to back him up. And again, RA seem to be the one setting the pace, looking for this tower in the top lane.
Yeah, they're gonna be able to get it as well. As Rich uses his body slam already, gonna have to walk himself out again. Pretty well set up to deal with that kind of poke coming out, so it isn't gonna be bursted out. And wow, look at them all going in. They're trying to see now if the Gwen can make something happen. Zorah gonna go in, land the hook there, straight in onto Photic, who's trying to keep himself alive, but he cannot. Flash forward by Leyan. There's a supreme display of talent as the Nautilus falls as well. Double kill for the RA jungler, and now you're 3v5, and this mid lane's looking mighty tasty for the side of Rare Adam.
Yeah, they're trying to stop the minions to stop the end. So Rare Adam realized, right, we're against the Syndra. There's no way we're taking that minion wave anywhere. We're just going to go towards that Baron. Karsa is still alive. There's a steal opportunity, but, you know, if they get caught in a fight, they will lose.
This is, again, a 5v3. This is your miracle moment here for V5. You can see Karsa checking to see if anyone's in that brush. The gravity field goes down as a zoning technique. 3,000 HP, 2,000, 1,000, going gone. And that's going to be Rare hitting up the big purple worm. Strife does get hit by the unleashed power, but it's just not going to be enough. There's the TP coming in now from the Gwen as they try and look for this one here. iBoy just being kept alive. It's Rich, tries to take him out, but he just hasn't got the damage just yet. His auto attacks are good, but is his auto attacks better than his? Yes, they are. And that's going to be Rich picking up the AD carry, but Syndra is down and dead, as is Karsa. You are now back to a 3v4. I don't know if you can survive this, V5.
Yeah, there's still Strive allies. Cube is still full HP. They have the Baron. They're going to start pushing up mid. Photic is there, but I don't think you have the wave to defend in this situation. This inhibitor is likely going to go down, and we'll see if they try and push more. I think it probably will just be an inhibitor take here, but RA are getting everything they want and more. 10,000 gold ahead right now.
Yeah, there's just not really a lot you can do, and they're thinking about it right now. They thought about it for half a second, but Rich is here, and Rich is very tanky. You can see what he was able to do there, but as I say that, he gets deleted. Oh my lord, Strife will take him down. However, Leyan was traded, so you're back into a 3v2 in favor of RA, and I don't think you're going to take that one just yet. 30 seconds till that soul spawns.
Rookie's flanking.
They're looking for the TP. They're looking to try and flank him out. If they can catch out Strife, this could be huge. He does have his Crown of the Shattered Queen. It will be shattered right now as he gets unleashed powered upon. I don't think he's going to be enough from Rookie to be able to take him down. Cube is 1v3ing on the back end of this entire thing. Gwen is immune to anything you want to do, V5. That's going to be Dragon Soul, and you got to say that's going to be the inevitable end of this game.
I mean, that's a clear signal how doomed this game is, right? In that situation, not even able to find any success. Cube just able to hold everyone off. This Gwen has truly hit the late game. and now they've able to pick up the Mountain Soul. Even more safety for their backline, but also all these Mountain Dragons. Cube is going to be incredibly tanky. And you know, I'm going to say it. I think V5 made the right call. The game is doomed. You go for those plays, but you would have much rather had Rich being able to be the one to TP in rather than Rookie. We're going to replay that fight. Rich actually doing a great job here. You know, credit to him on this Gragas. Finds iBoy, chases him down, and guarantees the kill with a Thresh up in your face. Definitely a solid performance from him, but it's just not enough, right? Even if you take down iBoy, there's still so much threat from the rest of the team.
My God, Leyan, though, when he's able to get on top of these squishier carries, someone who isn't Rich, it just feels like he 100 to zeros them, no questions asked. And this is going to be Leyan just hunting again, looking around, 7-4 and 3, again, having a fantastic game of it so far. And even looking at Strife as well, he's looking at 3-1 and 5. So Strive looking very, very solid on this Viktor, coming in against a very, very difficult matchup of versus Rookie. And only dying once, I think you take that as a win.
Yeah, I mean, he's been comfortable, right? He's been able to farm up. He is very strong right now, and the pressure just hasn't been there. We're now 10,000 gold lead for Herald. They have the Mountain Soul as well to make things even more difficult. You can see Rookie is trying to look for a potential pick here, but this is a Crown of the Shattered Queen Mountain Soul Strive. I don't think he dives to a full combo.
Honestly, I don't think anyone dies to a full combo
Yeah,
right
I mean,
now.
he knows it.
Yeah, he can't do it. He has to back away and says, right, well, that was fun while I thought about it. Now I got to go join my team. Leyan is going to hover around this side. You can see getting a little bit of poke, but doesn't even break the shielding of the Mountain Soul. So now Rich down below half HP. That is your tank. Good scout of the week here from Rookie, but there's only so much he can do. There's going to be the most underwhelming Supreme display of talent I think I've ever seen. Over the wall as the fat man tries to jump in. Again, another good scatter of the week, because that's going to be the ghost sign. You got to try and do something here. GA pops straight away as Karsa tries to run away, pops into his ultimate. Look at the Gwen, though, just doing so much damage. Yes, the Talon will pick up 2 kills, but now it's a 3v2. Will be a nice little pickup here for Photic if he can make this work, but I don't think he's got the damage. I don't even think he's got the time, and that's going to be enough for RA to take this game, and they'll take the advantage in the series 1-0.
Yeah, just great game coming out from RA. I mean, iBoy even goes down with the GA. V5 find him, but it's just not enough. There is too much strength in the late game of RA. Too many viable carries in the lineup, and honestly, this was a really stellar game from them. We saw good play in terms of shutting down V5's aggression. Anytime V5 found an advantage, it was matched, and then the game just slowly extended, and suddenly we're in the situation where you are just completely outscaled, and RA managed to find some big advantages. Beautiful play, and particularly Zorah on the Thresh. He found Photic so often with those hosts.
Yeah, honestly, I think Zorah was very, very pivotal at just mitigating a lot of that pressure. And again, the trade backs in the early game, yes, you were able to find out the Qiyana, but it was traded back immediately, which meant that you were, as you mentioned, a little bit slower back on the map, a little bit slower to get back into those rotations. And the snowball that we talked about that we wanted to see from V5 just never accumulated. Went from a snowball to a snowflake and then just instantly dissipated. There was nothing they could do.
Yeah, and you know, we saw them have that momentum in the top lane, but they just weren't really able to do anything. And I think the thing you got to think about is in the bot lane, enemy team has a Thresh. Always going to be hard to make something happen there. And in the top lane, it's the Gwen, who just isn't an easy dive target in general. And it felt like Leyan was doing a great job of answering, of matching. And then whenever there was a moment where like, oh, Leyan might have overextended, he might be picked, Lantern comes in. So really just excellent play. And I think you look at the goal graph, and this tells the story completely. It's like these tiny little ebb and flows back and forth, but it's pretty much dead even until it just gets to the point where RA finds some massive advantages. The comp has come online, V5 start to feel desperate, so they try and overforce, and that's just the point where we knew Rare Adam was pretty securely going to take this game. You can even look at the damage delta champions. Look how much of an even spread is that there is there, right? Other than Zorah, obviously.
Until you get to Leyan and Cube. That's where it starts to get a bit skewed.
Even so, right, all of them doing a significant amount of damage, you know, and I think that kind of tells the story of how everyone on Rare Adam was like a viable carry in the late game. So even when they killed iBoy, it didn't really matter that much. They had to burn so much to take him down. Strive was still up, Leyan was still up, we still had Cube available, who's a monster. I just think this was a situation where V5 weren't able to play to their comp's win condition, and RA did a great job of shutting it down.
Yeah, you mentioned at the start, the longer the game went on, the more that window of opportunity would close there for V5. And They just couldn't make it stick. Great game from RA. We'll see if they're able to do it again in game 2 or if V5 have something else left in the tank. We're going to send it to a quick break, and when we return, picks and bans will be right around the corner.